Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here, and for the Great Wall of Comics, I went to ShortBoxed Live, and I did some damage to the wallet. You're gonna want to take a look at this one. All right, so ShortBoxed Live. It's a little convention put on by ShortBoxed. It's not huge. It's probably about the size of many local cons as far as square footage goes. Probably 30 something vendors. I'll look at the list and I'll tell you. But it's all comic books. Lots of books. It's fantastic. Get in. I like hit every booth like two or three times. Was able to, I didn't peruse through every single long short box there, but I did. I went in with a mission of what I was going to focus on, and I pretty much looked at everybody's boxes, the section that related to what I was looking for. So overall, pretty good. Here's my observation. I'm not going to post any video of Shortbox Live on this particular one, but as a con overall, it's great fun. It's cheap. It's $20 to get in. They have vendors, a lot of them from California, but also some that travel from out of the area. Got a few artists there that were cool. Run that list of artists up along here, but from it's not necessarily. I can see why people don't necessarily travel um, far and wide for it. Let's just say, but I mean, it's a great con. I love it. I've picked up some great books this year. I picked up some great books last year. What I can tell you about vendors, my observation has been this year. They know that pricing on books is all over the place. Books are down, they're back up, and they swing wildly. Mostly they're down from where they were last year, and pricing hasn't kept up. And vendors know this. They know that their books are priced high, and if you come to them with appropriate offers, or oftentimes just even say that you're interested in a book, they're going to come down much closer to where it was. Where this means for you is that on bigger books, you should feel free to step away, look up pricing, make sure you're familiar with what you're picking up. When you're picking up smaller books, it's not necessarily the case, but understand those books are probably high in there. So when you're picking up several books out of a box, unless they're already saying like they're dollar books or something, decide for yourself if you think it's a fair price. Especially when they come back to you and you put several books together, they're probably going to give you a discount. See where you're at. I felt overall, for the most part, we were good. There was one or two vendors where their price was so high to begin with, I just didn't feel comfortable even coming to them with a market price. Because I feel very odd if I have to go to half price um, and not have them counter just to be where the market roughly is. So, but overall, we're good. So let's take a look at some books, because that's what you're here to. Enough rambling, Rob. Time for some books. I did pick up a couple items for the giveaway bin. So we'll start with the giveaway bin items first. No, no Shogun Warriors #1 this week. This is interesting for me. I usually pick one of those up, but so these books that are going to go into the giveaway bin. These books were picked up because the price on them was great, and I know they're going to make Chris go crazy. So first book up, we have Incredible Hulk 106. So basically, these Incredible Hulk books, I picked these up 107 for less than $20 a piece. I mean, they're not high grade. Don't get me wrong, but they're not garbage grade either. These are solid mid grade books. So at 108. So those are some cool books. This one I stepped up a little bit. I paid $25 for this book. It's going in the giveaway bin. It is a low grade book, but for somebody to be able to own this book that doesn't own it, they're going to be thrilled as hell. And it's a great book for somebody who wants to practice pressing. And that is, I want you to pay attention to the price on this book. It's not a facsimile. Secret Wars number 8. So you can see there's some staining on the book. It's a pretty, it's been wet and dried. You can, because you can feel the cover's really hard. But I've gone through it. All the pages are there. The pages aren't torn. The pages all turn. They're not stuck together. They're pretty supple. Some of the staining does go through some of the pages, but $25, and if you just think this could be yours free, you can't knock it. It's a solid reader copy, and like I said, if you wanted to practice pressing, this is a great book. Anyways, so here you go. That's the giveaway bin books. I can't wait to see Chris's reaction when that comes out of the freaking giveaway bin. All right, John Beatty was there. The joke was people kept asking me, "Why don't you have John Beatty sign it?" Well, he was charging $30 to sign this book, which was more than I paid for the book. So I said, "Yeah, that wasn't going to happen." All right, for myself, last couple cons, I've been picking up some Bronze Age horror. I continue the trend today, although I didn't go crazy. There wasn't a lot of vendors with it this go round. A lot of vendors at this con, a lot of Golden Age. If you were a Golden Age collector, this was a great con. There was a lot of Golden Age books there. Also, a lot of Silver Age. Not a there was some. There was probably some. There was a fair amount of modern, but I didn't look through it, so I'm not as cognizant on it. But a lot of gold and silver. But I did find one vendor who had a couple books out that were a really good price. So the Witching Hour, number 27. I love this cover. This is a high grade copy. This is really great shape, and I love this image of this witch riding the train up into the air. And then also Witching Hour issue 6. Also a really good condition for a low issue book. I don't usually see these like this. This is actually probably right in the end of the Silver Age as it comes into the Bronze Age. But yeah, great book there. And then we had ourselves Supernatural Thrillers, The Living Mummy, issue 5. And issue 7. What really kills me is I was entering these in my inventory, and I realized Supernatural Thrillers. So the first the first 5 issues are each one's a different monster. So this is the first one with the Living Mummy. After that, the Living Mummy continues on for the rest of the run, which only goes to about 15 issues or so. But I have issue 4 and stuff with it. But issue 1 is an issue I don't have. And it turns out I didn't even pay attention because the cover on it, Supernatural Thrillers, is written like this, like many of the Marvels, and it's just got this big giant thing. It just says "It." And I saw that book multiple times throughout the show, and it didn't even click with me that was a book I needed for my run. And yeah, oh well, next time. All right. This is what I was looking for the most of these. Now, this is a perfect example of talking about older books, knowing not necessarily major keys or anything on all of these, but some of these are minor keys, and you can. I paid for the most part, I paid about $25 to $40 a piece for these books once you got them together, and or they were priced between 25 to 40. And then I bundled them together and paid even less. So great books, reader books, low grade. Probably most of these are average grade ranges of 4, 4, 5. A couple of them are maybe a 3, 5, but this is perfectly fine for what I'm picking up on a lot of these things here. We got Tales of Suspense, number 54. And Tales of Suspense, issue 60. Issue 67. '68. Issue 73. '85. '89. The Mysterious Melter. This book's a little bit higher grade because this is one I've been looking for. Is a more of a major key issue. Of course, great time to buy this now because the movie did not do well for it. So this book's probably about a 5.55, which is where I consider my higher grade Tales of Suspenses. Really, that's number 94, which is the first Modoc. Obviously, Modoc not running crazy costs anymore with the movie, but that book was, of course, obviously hot for a bit. And then issue 95. So that would have been a success. That stack right there would have been a success, in my opinion. If I had gone in, picked those up, and walked out with just those, I would have been very happy. But I was there's an there's a couple books, bigger books that were on my radar that I was hunting around. I was looking at, and was really surprised. One vendor who I typically associate with higher prices actually had some of the better prices on these books. Um, and I talked to him. I looked at both the books, talked him into a bundle on the two, and so I picked up two big books, one raw, one slabbed. The raw book is Ghost Rider issue number 1. So now, obviously, the first appearance of the Johnny Blaze Ghost Riders in Marvel Spotlight 5, second appearance Marvel Spotlight 6. I have both of those. But as far as the money books go, Marvel Spotlight 5 is, of course, obviously the premiere one, and Ghost Rider issue number 1, first issue featuring Johnny Blaze as the Ghost Rider, is of course the number 2 book when it comes to money books, and so now I was able to add this one to the collection. This one will go off, get pressed and cleaned, and then get encapsulated. And then the last book. I did not expect to get this book at this con, although I don't know why not. Last year, the biggest pickup of the year for me, I picked up at ShortBoxed. I picked up this Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 at ShortBoxed Live last year. And as it comes down to it, I have only one book left in my Amazing Spider-Man run I'm looking for. That was my goal for this year, was to pick up that book. And here it is. Amazing Spider-Man issue 3 in a 3.0 off-white to white pages. First appearance of Dr. Octopus. It is complete blue label. The only real knock on the book is that there is tape. Tape doesn't count. Tape is now considered it's not restorative anymore. It's now part of normal kind of conservation notation. The tape on this one, though, fortunately was done on the interior, and so it just has a notation that there's tape on the inside or interior. And when I read the notes show it's on the spine, so it's helping to keep that spine together. So if you had to remove it, you'd probably have a split spine, and that would potentially cause it, depending upon how bad that split spine is, it could knock it down to a 2.5 or something. So, in reality, this is an instance where the tape is potentially giving us a better grade than not having the tape there. It all depends upon how if there was a split or not, and it's hard to tell 100%. It looks like there's potential for some splits, but um, I'm just gonna leave it as is. Even though there is, there's here I can sort of, you can sort of see like Doc Ock where it's dark. There's some, there's definitely some pressing could be done to this. There's a lot of waving, wrinkling, but after my last experience cracking my ASM 5, and seeing already, I see some brittleness along the edges of this cover. Um, I am not going to risk cracking and trying to solve that issue with with the pressing. There is some water stains on the back, and according to the grader's notes, it goes through the pages, but it presents beautifully. That's it. It's done. Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 100, all slapped. We're done. I say I'm done, but you know what's next? No, not 101 through 200. Now I'm going to look at my grades on some of these, and some of these are going to have to get bumped up. I'm happy with the 3. I'm happy with the, most of my issues 2 through 10, all of them are like between a 2.5 to a 4, except for issue freaking 5 that took that grade bump down to a 1. So obviously I'm going to have to upgrade that issue 1. Um, who knows? Maybe one day down the road I'll upgrade my ASM 1. But I'll be going through that look. I'm going to go through that run, and I'm going to be finding a few books here and there that might need to get a bump. And I'll be looking to swap some grades out. But until then, woo! We're done. We got that done, and then we added another big boy book, a bunch of great TOS books. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Hit the thumbs up. Helps us with the algorithm in front of more eyeballs. You know how it goes. That's ad revenue. Ad revenue goes to what? Comics Curing Cancer. Make sure to follow Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram for all the latest information that's going on with Comics Curing Cancer. And of course, if you don't know what Comics Curing Cancer is, be sure to check out this video here. What is Comics Curing Cancer? Guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. How did I do at ShortBoxed Live? And what do you think? What should be next now that Spider-Man is done? Until next time, collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including me. I mean, I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.